living all by yourself, you will probably share 2 or 3 or even many more people. You will be sharing. You will have your own rooms, but you will probably share a kitchen or something else. So no pets allowed. As I said, dress code, no sandals, flip-flop, tip-tops or hats, and cap either institutions or in church, and of course take care of your personal hygiene. That's normal. But all in all, Croatians are pretty much normal. We are welcoming, we are friendly, regardless of religion, skin color, or anything else. We are really pretty much normal, so you will be really pretty much okay in the whole country. One of the things I always say to you, especially and also at the agency, at least the next day after your landing, you will have to buy a SIM card. It's really advisable. The network is really good. Your working places will probably be covered by Wi-Fi. I'm not sure about your recommendations. It depends on where you will be staying on, and depends on your employer. But you will need, especially if you're going out, your life won't be like, I'm going to work, I'm going to sleep, and that's about it. You will like to explore. Where are you living? You will like to hang on with Croatian people, or at least with Filipino people. So you will need Google Maps, and for Google Maps you will need SIM card. I will show you what are the 3 biggest telecom operators: T-Com, A1, and Telema. T-Com is the biggest one, but also the most expensive one. So I recommend Telema. It's a good one, and if there are places not covered by their network, they are connecting to the other one. So basically everything is covered. Prepaid card is around 3 to 10 euros, depending on how much data you want to have. And you can buy it in any newsstand. You don't have to buy it right away at the airport. You will have time to go anywhere, and you can buy it. Yeah?
I have a question. How we can buy prepaid card? So we need to bring something like license ID or ATM ID?
Yeah, that's why it's prepaid card. They don't need your name or anything else. You just go and buy it. Anyone can buy it. Postpaid is a different thing. I have postpaid network and SIM card, but you can buy it whatever you want. So SIM card, you will just put it in your phone and just follow the instructions, and that's about it. You will see there is the price is different due to data you want to have. But as I said, if you're having Wi-Fi at your workplace and at your shared dorm, you will probably no need of a SIM card of, 10 euros. Maybe 5 euros, it will be just okay. I already said about public transport, but you will have to ask around, depending on where you will be staying. If you are using public transport, you will need tickets. The price in Zagreb is between, as I said, 0.6 to, I don't know, monthly, because I have a car, so I usually drive a car. I don't use so much public transport, so I don't know the price for a monthly car, but maybe for those of you who are going to Zagreb, so the ticket for the half an hour drive will be just enough. That's not too expensive, it's affordable. If you need, for any reason, emergency, this is the general number that covers everything, meaning police, ER, fire department, and anything else. Just call this number. You can call it also from your prepaid SIM card and ask for help. They do speak English. And talking about English and about Croatians, most of us speak English. But since we are basically okay, not old but older nation. The average age of Filipinos is 24 years. The average age of Croatians is 44 years. So we are really much older than Filipinos. And older people just don't speak so much English as the number one. But most of the word, at least some basic words, they will understand. Anyway, I suggest you to learn at least some words, some phrases. If you need some help and you are working in some outside city area, maybe it's better to know at least something. But we will get about that. Okay, we will leave language for the end. Okay, for now, do you have any questions? About anything. What culture, girls, boys, religion. Don't be shy, just ask anything you want. Yeah. Just ask.
Thank you for the lecture, ma'am. I'm just curious about, you're saying about the Croatian population is getting decreased, right? So you're open for like Filipino became like a citizen? Have there any like record became a citizen?
So you're planning to stay in Croatia?
Well, we don't know about the future, but maybe.
Well, it's not only a question about Croatia, since we are part of EU and we share some common rules from the Brussels, not only from Croatia, but it's just like in any other country. You can't go to US and say, I will live there. It's not that easy. You need some more years, like 5 years or more, and you will have to earn more money than you will earning right now once you come to Croatia. I can tell you the experience of my daughter. She went to UK more than 5 years ago for studying, and she stayed there. After 5 years, she could apply for permanent residence, and she is now, let's say, a type of resident, but not, she can stay there for good. After these 5 years, I think she needs another 5 to live there, to be there, to have a decent job, and she's jobless right now. So you have to have a good job, to have a pretty good salary, to apply for permanent residence. I don't know all the details for Croatia, but I know that we do have many foreigners, not just foreign workers as you are, but many foreigners from developed countries, from Western countries like UK, Ireland, Germany, Austria, United States. They really like Croatia because it's a safe place, it's not so crowded, it has everything basically on a small area. It has sea, mountains, rivers and everything, and they really like to work here. We have also so many startup companies, and those people are literally living in Croatia, but they're still not residents. So you will have to be in Croatia many years, and your salary has to be higher. But okay, Trish wants to say.
I'm sorry, I just have one more question.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen news from Croatia that our fellow brethren, like women, they are pregnant and born a son right over there. So what about their son? Their citizenship?
No.
All right.
It doesn't make you a Croatian resident.
Thank you.
Of course, syempre yung idea na magkakaroon ng asawa, boyfriend, gano'n sa culture. Pero pumunta tayo para mag-work, pero hindi natin alam, di ba? Yeah, yung sinabi ni Miss Goga, yun. Kasi last time din, someone asked. Tapos, kung idea lang kasi, di ba, may nag-ask if ever, what if yung family ko gusto pumunta? just a vacation. It's on niya na, hindi niya sa agency. As per Sir John Ray na, kailangan niya pumunta ng BFS to inquire sa inyo na sa BFS na siya or kung ma-approve sila for vacation or hindi. Pero yung sa Croatian residency, it's mahirap talaga. Tsaka yung sabi ni Goga, yun na siya talaga, hindi porket nakapag-asawa kasi sa America, gano'n. Sa Croatia, halos lahat ng Europe kasi hindi talaga. Pero pwede ka may mga tumitira na. Pero every year pa din yung parang work permit, parang work pa din every year yung pag-renew ng ID nila. So from the staff of our office yesterday, in-explain nga niya na until now, kahit na mag 5 years na siya sa Croatia, yearly pa rin siya doon pumupunta para i-renew yung residence ID niya. Kaya medyo alanganan tayo.
I mean, you can always marry a Croatian woman, so if that's your plan, that's a kind of way. But if you're having a child in Croatia, it doesn't make you a resident, just from that point of view. But if you marry a Croatian woman, there is some procedure, or if a woman marries a Croatian man, there will be some procedures, but then eventually you will get a resident status. Okay? Anything else? Same-sex marriages are allowed. If you are thinking about that,
Hi everyone. Just like a quick question. Earlier you mentioned that you guys are more on work and then you take rest. But as a Filipino, we really, on my end, I'm also love to travel. But just in case, because the salary that we might have is not going to be, fit into what we can send into Philippines. But you guys are open with part-time jobs.
we will get to that point, but you will not be allowed to take part-time or side job apart from your employer. So when you are signing a contract with the employer with whom you are coming to Croatia, you will not be able to work for anybody else until the end of that contract. And it applies not only for you, it applies also for all our Croatian people. I can't work for 2 employers at the same time. I can because I'm self-employed. I'm not an employee. It's a different thing. But okay, let's say that I am an employee. So if I work for one company, for one employer, I can take side jobs for another one. That's not allowed. That's forbidden by labor law, which applies for whoever works in Croatia. For you and for me. You are nothing special, and I'm not special. So, yeah, I know what you are thinking of, but you got what you got.
Yeah, kasi syempre, diba, sa ibang country, parang pwede mag-part-time, gano'n, like Korea. Kaso kasi, in Croatia, in everything na ginagawa nila, they have the law. Lahat, even though sa sick leave, they also have the law with that one. With their working hours, they also have the law. Hindi lang sa ating foreigners, but sa kanila din, medyo kailangan talaga nila sundin kasi sa batas nila yun. Hindi kagaya sa atin, di ba? Doon kasi batas, yung Croatian law talaga sinusunod. Kung may mga nakikita naman kayo na nag-vlog, yung parang nagpa-part-time sila, actually hindi lang yung sila panahuli, but it's not allowed talaga. Tsaka huwag na natin subukan kasi kakapahamak natin yun. Okay. Yeah, please. Any questions?
Okay, in the second part we will discuss about all these laws and procedures, salaries, vacation time, and everything. But for now, if you have some other questions, just shoot. Okay, always clear. As I said, if you don't want to, as a guy, if you don't want to marry a woman, you can marry a guy. It's not called marriage, it's called like a same-sex community, but you have basically the same rights as normal couple. Just in case you were thinking about that. Okay? Okay, I'm just gonna ask, who would like to stay in Croatia permanently? I know you know nothing about Croatia. I think I've just told you just not enough, but is there anybody who wants to do that right now? No? No? Okay. First you want to see and to experience. Okay. Okay, let's talk about important things like salary. Do you know the difference between net and gross? Yeah, you do. Most of the Western countries have gross salaries, which means the employee gets the gross amount and you will pay for your taxes, health and pension insurance by yourself. Since Croatia were part of Yugoslavia and basically was socialist republic, linked to the Eastern way of living, we have net salaries, meaning your employer will pay for you all the taxes, insurance and everything needed. So when you are talking about your salary with your employer or with the agency, you will talk about net salary. This is what you get, what would be released on your bank account. And yes, you will need to open a bank account in a Croatian bank. I think you need some 10 euros as a kind of deposit or just the cost for a fee for opening. Okay, since we are talking about bank account, you will probably want to know how to transfer the money to someone, to your parents or to your families in Philippines. Trish knows about it maybe more than I do, because I usually, since my daughter lives in UK, I usually use an app called Revolut. Did you hear about it? Never? Okay, it's an app with which you can transfer the money basically without fee or a very, very low fee. But for that, you will need to open a bank account in Croatian bank, have an app on your mobile, and the other person in Philippines will need the same app on their mobile, and then they can transfer money from that app to their bank account in Philippines. And for the rest, Trish, about transferring money.
Yeah. Di ba papunta nyo doon, Ms. Gogo will explain na you will need to open a bank account. With that, meron siyang online application. Mas better daw siya and mas less yung fee kung, sabihin ko yung pwede yung pag-transfer na app ha. I-note nyo kasi para hindi na kayo mag-MoneyGram siya ka-Western kasi sobrang mahal. Ano siya, TransferWise and World Remit. Makikita niyo yan siya pag nandun na kayo sa Croatia. And then, pag open niyo sa bank account, online banking niyo, makikita niyo din daw yan. Huwag na kayo mag-Western. Pero kung gusto niyo naman, may account kayo, okay lang din. Pero kasi parang ano na yan siya, parang Gcash nila. Yung TransferWise and World Remit.
Word Remit. Narinig ko na.
Yes, World.
Okay, I think the practice in Philippines is like you are getting paid 2 times a month.
Yes.
Yeah, in Croatia is 1 monthly. I don't know, in UK, in US, I think it's every week. So in Croatia, you will be paid once a month. But, okay, I just want to explain how are we paid. Let's say that we are working through the whole month, from the first to the last day of, let's say, May. We will be paid between 10th and 15th of June of the next month. So we won't be paid at the last day of the current month. We will be paid some 10 to 15 days later. After the month ended, we will be paid 10 to 15 days later. But your case is a bit special because you will probably not start to work on the first day of a month. So it's just an example. Let's say that you're coming to Croatia on the May 5th. you will not be able to start at once because you need some papers, procedures, legal procedures and everything. And let's say that you will start to work on May 15. It means that you will be working in the current month just 15 days. So you will not be paid for the whole month, obviously, because you will not be working the whole month. And for this, let's say 15 days you're working during May, you will be paid between 10th and 15th of June. Okay? Okay, just put it visually. So let's say that you will come to Croatia at 5th and you will start to work here. You will not be paid for those days. And for those days you're working, you will be paid in the next month between 10th and 15th. Okay? I was clear? Yes. Okay. Yeah, and it will be, of course, released to your bank account. Just to notice, advanced cash payments from your employer is forbidden by the law. Not just for you, but for any of Croatian employee. So you can go to your employer and say, I need some cash. It's not possible. And so, from the day you will come to Croatia with your visa is not enough. It's just for the entering EU. You will need a lot of papers and documents. I will explain this later. You will need your personal identification number, you will need your ID card, and your stay and work permit. And it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to get all these documents, because without that you will be basically illegal. So to work legally, you need at least 3 papers. Since you will be waiting in Croatia 2 to 3 weeks and you won't be able to work, you will need some pocket money. Cash or credit card, whatever you prefer, but you will need at least 200 to 300 euros to have with yourself. So we do take credit cards like Visa, MasterCard, it's normal, or Maestro, but you will really need some pocket money. I mean, we do, as a Croatians, also have to go through the procedures for anything else. We also do have to wait for several weeks. But since you are coming from different country, you will have to provide food for yourself, you will need some pocket money. So strongly advise to have at least 300 euros. I won't talk much about salary. Croatia is not amongst the top highest or top most paid countries. As I said, money is not everything. Many people are coming to Croatia because of some other things. The highest paid industries are in IT. Pilots are also highly paid, some doctors, and so you won't be paid so much, but you will have a decent life, and you will be able to send some money to your families. Okay, I will talk just generally about some laws and procedures because I'm a journalist. I'm not dealing with some legal things. So if you want really some details, you will have to ask the agency. But we will go through just the basic things. Apart from labor law, which is applied for really every employee, Croatian, German, Filipinos, or whoever, we also, since we do have a lot of foreign people, foreign workers, we have Foreigners Acts. And according to Foreigners Act, you will have to have a single stay and work permit. Without that, you can't work. For now, this permit is issued for 1 year. In our parliament, we are talking about extension for 3 years, but it's still under procedure, and for now, you will get your permit for those who are coming for 2 years or more for 1 year. But your employer, also I'm talking for those of you who are coming for 2 years, your employer will try to extend it for another one. So we are talking about 1 plus 1 year. For those of you who are having a 2 years contract. So you have 2 years contract and permit 1 year plus 1 year. Talking about legal things, in case of any violation of the contract, yes, the worker will bear serious legal consequences, but I think you all know that. You have to fulfill all the requirements from the contract, so please read it carefully, even the small letters, usually. Otherwise, you will be reported to the Philippine government institution with some legal implications. I mean, it is good. You are not protected only by Croatian laws, by Labor Law and Foreigners Act. You are also protected by your Philippines government, because you are considered as a it's an awful word, but you are a kind of good but special good. You're like export good, let's put it in that way. So in case of any violation of the contract, you will get no help of the agency who are recruiting you. What will be your obligations? Whether you are signing 6 months or 2 years contract, you will have to notarize a promissory note of 2,000 euros upon your arrival. That's not cash. It's not something you need to carry on with you. You only need some 200 to 300 euros for your costs while you start to work. This is just in case of violation of the contract, if you do not fulfill everything that is written on the contract. Then and only then you could be charged for that 2,000 euros. Is it understandable?
Yeah.
Okay. If everything happens according to the contract, at the end of the contract, you will be released of any obligations. This promissory note will be given back to you. It's the same thing for Croatian people. We also do signs the promissory note, okay, not for our jobs, but for many other things, and I could be charged for that amount of money in case I'm not following contract or agreement or something else. So again, it's not something special for you, it also applies for any other worker. And I suppose you also know that employer will pay for your costs, especially for your accommodation, utilities like electricity, water supply, waste management, and so. The internet costs and food is for yourself, so you will have to provide it for yourself. Employer will also pay all the administrative fees for all these procedures, and just read the contract carefully. Employer will pay for your airfare tickets, but if you are going to, let's say that you come here for 6 months, and you want to go to Philippines before the extension of 6 months contract, for that ticket you will have to pay for yourself. If you are going to Philippines after these 6 months, I mean after the expiration of the contract, whether it's 6 months or 2 years, the employer will pay for your tickets. And whether you would like to extend your working in Croatia or not, you have to go back. You have to go back to Philippines, and you can start new negotiations with the agency for extension of your work there. Hopefully it's understandable. So, as I said previously, part-time jobs or side jobs are not allowed. It's prohibited by the Croatian labor law, and same applies for me, just as for you. So, if you're signing contract with Arena, with Malamar, with Mlinar, Pampek, you can work only there for the duration of the contract. Later, you can think of something else. So, leaving an employer for part-time jobs, side jobs, or just, you woke up some morning and say, oh God, I don't want to work with that man again, I'm going to Spain. That's a violation of contract. And you will have to pay those 2,000 euros. And you will have some other legal consequences, because in that case, if you do such a thing, it will result in termination of your permit. In that case, you will have to go back to the Philippines within the 15 days. Otherwise, you will be banned for entering EU, any other country within the EU for the next 5 years. So just don't do that. Don't do any violation. Just read the contract carefully. If you're not satisfied, maybe you can wait for some other occasion or some other employer, but just don't do any violation. It will cost you a lot. Not just the 2,000 euros, but also the termination of your permit, and you won't be able to enter EU for the next 5 years. Okay, I mean, if you do some violation of the contract, just go back to Philippines within 15 days. And then you'll be able to enter EU or at least some other country. But since the EU is the common market, and we share information between countries, so if you do some violations in Croatia, they will know about that in Spain, Portugal, Germany. So I strongly advise not to do that. Okay, just read the contract. If you're satisfied with it, just go on with that for your 6 months or 2 years, and then start new negotiations. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, I mean, the same thing applies for all Croatians. It's according to our labor law. Okay, I know you're all interested in overtime. I know you work really hard and you work too much here in the Philippines. We have some rules, different rules. First of all, you will have some vacation time, much more than in the Philippines. You also, you can't work 7 days in a row. You have to take at least 1 day to rest. Because it's not normal to work and die and not to have some vacation time. Okay. But for those of you who are going to the coast during the peak of the tourist season, it could be a bit different because they are lacking people, they are really a huge number of workers. You can work a lot and have some, at least some overtime hours. You will be paid for every overtime hour. How much? It depends on the employer, and depends on what will be the days of your working time. If it's Sunday, if it's holiday, if you're working overnight, it will be paid much higher than during regular days. How much? Usually between 20 and 50%, but also it depends on your employer. If you are having and you're working overtime and you are not paid, you will have to ask your employer, or you will have to report it. It's your right. Just as we do have our rights, Croatians, it's also your right. But for anything, any problem, just address to your employer first. If he doesn't respond, then you have the agency. Am I right, Trish? Yes, I'm right. So the employer is the first person you have to ask for anything, any information, or if you want to ask for some overtime things, just put some notes. If your working time are from, 8 to 4, and you are working from 8 to 6, you know that you have 2 hours of overtime. Just put some notes, and at the end of the month, you should be paid for that overtime alongside with your salary. If you are not, then you will contact your employer. If he doesn't respond, you have your agency, okay?
Regarding on the pay of the overtime, it's taxable or not?
Okay.
You will not deduct the tax for overtime. The payment for the overtime, it taxable or no?
Yeah. So overtime hours are just like normal hours. It's part of your gross salary from which the employer pays for all your taxes. It's taxable, just like as any other working hour. But it goes in this gross amount from which employer pays for all the tax and health and pension insurance. Okay? Anybody else?
Tanong na kayo para at least masagot niya mismo.
Okay, now we have other problem called sick leave. Especially you who will be in Croatia during 2 years, you will probably get sick, especially during winter time. If you are sick, you have to inform your supervisor or manager, employer right away. The moment you, okay, not if it's, I don't know, midnight, wait for the morning, but you have to inform. You can't stay at home like 7 days and not to inform anybody, because they have to organize the work, they have to find maybe your replacement or so you are obligated to inform your employer, supervising manager or whoever is above you. It is also mandatory to see your assigned medical doctor. Upon your arrival, you will be assigned some medical doctors because you will have to pass through some medical examinations and so you will have to see the doctor, not just for the medical procedures, but also there are some documentary procedures. You will have to get from your doctor so-called opening certificate. And you have to see your doctor and get that paper within 3 days of the beginning of your sick leave. That paper you have to pass to your employer. Also, at the end of your sick leave, you will also need to see your doctor again for the so-called closing certificate. So, 3 important things if you're having sick leave, if you're not feeling well. Inform your employer, get to see your doctor, because you have to get the so-called opening certificate, and at the end of your illness, you need to see your doctor for the closing certificate. And both needs to be given to your employer.
Goga,
Yeah.
let me add some information about sick leave. So sick leave, yung sa mga nag-waiver, yung pinupush yung sarili na I am fit to work, pero nag-waiver, kagaya ng mga hayang SGPT o yung may mga asthma na gusto mag-work. Hindi naman namin pinipigilan yon as an agency kasi gusto nyo mag-work. Pero pag kahit isa sa naging dahilan ng sick leave ninyo is galing doon sa waiver na yon, hindi kayo entitled sa sick leave na yan. Pag galing doon sa waiver na yon. Okay? Thank you.
Everything understandable? Okay. Any questions about sick leave or anything else? Yeah.
If we can provide opening and closing certificate, the employer will gonna pay you for the days of your sick leave.
Okay. Yeah, I know. The same procedures goes as well for any Croatians. Of course, if you are having sick leave, you are not working and you can be paid for those days. But depending on how many days you will stay at home and what are the reasons, the salary can be decreased only up to 30%. So no more than 30%. So you will get at least 70% of your monthly salary for that month. Okay, if you are injured on your workplace, you will get 100%.
Yes.
Because it's considered, if you're injured, if you're, I don't know, you're preparing food in some hotel and you cut your finger with knife, it's considered as injured during the work. And and you will be paid 100% for that. Regardless, you're going to on a sick leave, but you will be paid 100%. But if you're having, I don't know, you just got a cold, you have temperature, and you're staying at your dorm, you could be, so your salary in that case can be reduced up to 30%. Depends on how many days you will stay at home. But you will get at least 70% of your salary. You have a question? No? Yeah, okay.
I know. I would like to ask regarding the side job that we are not allowed to. For instance, let's say I would like to do volunteer jobs. Are we allowed to do that?
Like side job, parang ano ka din?
Volunteer activities.
Side job, parang nag-part-time ka pa din?
No. She's asking. She wants to volunteer. Let's say that she wants to volunteer in a.
Kunwari day off mo, gano'n. Tapos gusto mo mag-work. No, they also have a law. Ha? Volunteer ka, para kasi, hindi, mag-volunteer ka, humanitarian na mag-work ka on your rest day. But they are very specific, right? On the rest day, you really need to have the rest day, right? With that one.
Yeah, but about volunteering, I really don't know how it's written by the law. I'm really not sure. I have to check it. Because
We don't.
Community.
Community service, not with the work.
Because in Croatia, there are Filipino groups. They are participating in like cleaning and then like helping other Filipinos like that don't have jobs there in Croatia but still choose to stay in Croatia. So you can do that. It's okay.
yeah, okay, we'll talk later about vacation days, about some habits in Croatia. It's a bit different, but okay. So just remember, you can be paid less than 70% of your salary. Okay, so there are three things you will have to get upon your arrival to Croatia. First is personal identification number called OIB. It's a, let's say, basis for taxation and everything. Everyone in Croatian also has this number. With this number, you will get your ID card. And for both of it, you will have to personally go to the police station and collect it. We all have to wait a few weeks. Even when Croatian is changing, I don't know if the ID is expired, I have to apply for a new one, and I'm also waiting a few weeks for the new ID card. So will you too. I'm sorry, but it's the same procedure. As I said, both ID card and your permit is valid for 1 year. Plus the other one, for those of you who are going for 2 years, the employer will extend it for another one. But basically, permit and ID is valid for 1 year. Just keep in mind that 3 months, basically 90 days or 3 months before the expiration date of your ID and permit, you will have to inform your employer. Via email, you will have to attach the photo of your stay and work permit. So just remember this and try to put some notes in mobile or in calendar that 3 months before the expiration date, you will have to inform your employer about that. I don't know if I have to emphasize this, or you already know that you're in NBI clearance. We also do have that. Must be valid at least 7 months from the date of arrival. As I said, you will have to wait at least some 2 to 3 weeks. waiting period for the PIN or OIP, so personal number, ID card, and stand work permit. So you will need some pocket money. Just keep in mind, you can carry on cash or you will have your credit cards or whatever. And also, I always ask Trish to say more about it. You will have your WhatsApp group when you're arriving to Croatia. So Trish,
I
please.
think January will be the one because it's the one doing that one.
Kasi yung in your final briefing, so all of these things will be discussed, and we'll just add some like reminders for those who are not present today and Saturday and Friday. So on the day of your final briefing, we will create a GC. Like if your flight is March 15, so the GC will be created. The GC's name is Arrivals March 16, because March 16 is the day of your arrival. So all of the instructions will be coming from there, from Pinoy 385 team, and then from Human Link team. Okay? And then yung apostille ninyo, if your NBI apostille is still valid, like you get your apostille just this year, January and February, still okay. But if you got your NBI apostille or 2023, any months of 2023, you should renew. When was your biometrics? February, January. So all of your work permits are 2023. NBI apostille is 20. So you can renew maybe this end of March for your NBI apostille.
Any questions about that? Okay, let's talk about some more cheerful things like vacation time. I know that in Philippines you have only 7 days for the whole year. We have at least 4 weeks. It could be more depending on the age of the employee, how many children do they have. So it will be extended to up to 6 weeks in Croatia. But if you are an employee, you will have to take your vacation day. You can't work all the time. It's forbidden by the law. So at least 1 day in a week, at least 7 days in 6 months. At least. So you will have to. You don't have to travel anywhere. You can stay in your dorm room and just sleep or watch TV. But you will have to take your rest and not to work. For people like me, I'm self-employed, so let's say that I don't have much free time. I haven't been on a real vacation for more than 4 years. I don't remember the free weekend, but I'm self-employed. I have to make my own money. It's a different thing. You as an employer have your human rights and you have to rest. Okay, so if you are, let's say you are in Croatia for 2 years and you have 4 weeks of holidays, you can take it all in once for the whole year, or you can break it, divide it in a few different travel. While working in Croatia and having a vacation, you can travel wherever you want to travel, but you can't run away. So you can go anywhere you want as a tourist, but you can't say to your employer, well, I don't want to work for you anymore, I'm going to see how is it going in Spain, let's say, so you can't do that. It's a violation of contract. But you, as a tourist, can go anywhere. Also, if you came to Croatia for 2 years, and you want to go back to Philippines within these 2 years, before the expiration of your contract, you will have to pay for the ticket by yourself. If you are going back to Philippines after the fulfillment of the contract, for the ticket will be paid by your employer. Okay? Is it understandable enough?
Yes.
Any questions? So about some humanitarian work and volunteering, I do volunteer a lot, and I think you can. It's not considered as a part-time or side job. So it's your free time, you can do with your free time whatever you want. It's just not possible for you to work 7 days in a week. But if you are free for one day, let's say it's Sunday, and you want to spend the Sunday caring about dogs or cats or older people or Filipinos who need help, you can do that. As long as it's not paid, as it's voluntary. Okay. Okay, I'm listening to questions. Anything more about salary, 3 days, working days, overtime, holidays? Yeah.
Will the employer take hold of our passport?
Sorry, will he what? Will,
This is not the Middle East, so your passport will be with you. Not like in Middle East that like even if we are skilled workers, sometimes, not all the times. Sometimes the employers get our passports, but in Croatia, all of your documents will be with you.
Otherwise, how could you travel
Yeah.
during your vacation time? If you want to go to Ireland, let's say.
Diba, meron kayo yung mag-intake kayo ng 2 to 3 weeks, you will be needing to always bring your passport with you kasi yun yung titignan. And then when para pag tinignan nila sa system nila, nakalagay na kasi doon ang process. So you really need to bring your passport within the span of na wala pa kayong oil. Ha? Remember niyo na, huwag niyo wawala yan ha. Ingatan niyo siya, okay?
I'm just asking about the back pay. If there is a back pay in Croatia.
Bonuses. Bonuses, back pay.
After finish the contract, like bonus.
Back pay.
Ano, they have, wala kasi may iba yung law nila sa law natin.
Separation pay. It's like a separation.
Not separation, back pay bonuses if we finish the
Wala silang ganun. Even with the law.
Ay, ganon.
It's stated in your contract na yung pinirmahan nyo is
If the
like
finish the contract.
700 euro. So every month you get 700 euro. After finishing your contract, there is no back pay na kagaya dito sa atin.
Philippines.
Sa Pilipinas kasi may back pay tayo pero based sa ilang years talaga na lagpas pa. More than 2 years. Di ba? So in Croatia, walang back pay na.
Na bonus.
Okay.
Tax
refund. Tax refund, you can process that with your HR or if you have some Filipino friends na they know how to do it, na kayo na ang magpa-process doon sa government, you can do that. Okay?
Akala ko na kayo. Pag nirin mo na
Tax refund sa Pilipinas,
di ba? Kailangan natin
Thank you. Tcharam, guys. Food na.
Based sa mga bonuses, parang nag-increase ng salary, depende na yun sa performance sa employer nyo kung gusto nila. Kasi iba-iba din kayo na employer. Like sa Pilipinas, di ba? May mga bonus, yung iba wala. Ganun din sa kanila. Pero very strict sila with their labor law. Unlike sa atin na kailangan pa magpadole. Sila very strict sila. Hindi naman kagaya sa Middle East talaga yan. Yun nga lang, they have yung hindi lang talaga agad in span of 1 month, kailangan pa ulit ng another 1 week to wait. So, talagang kailangan yung magdala ng extra for the first month para at least may panggastos kayo.
Back pain meron.
Christmas bonus. Christmas bonus daw, sir.
Depende pa rin yun sa employer nyo if they will give you the bonus.
Okay. If there is no more questions,
Wala na bang questions regarding doon? Kasi syempre,
Sorry, I have one question. This is the worst scenario that I'm thinking. What if the employer will not follow the contract, or they have some violation for the employer? Where we can go, or where we can ask for the help,
112.
or we can go somewhere, or some agencies that can help us to.
yeah. Regarding that one, sir, for the final briefing, Sir Jallery will give you a hotline for our welfare hotline. Pero if you will have a problem with your employer, kailangan mo muna siyang i-coordinate sa employer. Kung hindi siya makiki-coordinate, you will contact Pinoy 385. Pagdating niyo naman doon, papakilala naman sila and they will also give you a contact number. Tapos pag hindi naman si Pinoy 385 nag-coordinate sa inyo, saka na kayo pupunta sa amin. Kami pa rin, of course. Ang last na mag-aayos niya, we will coordinate it. And then just the hotline and the GC also if wala pa rin nagre-reply. You will have it naman po. You will have hotlines if nagka-problem kayo. And I know kasi mostly ex-abroad eh. Tsaka diba, minsan ginagawa dito ba yung agency like that, diba? No, it's not like that now. Very strict na po talaga. And until deployment date ninyo, we really need to report it in the system. You can search it on Google, the OMS, and saying it is true na lahat ng agency na sa Pilipinas, we are required. That's why we have a welfare department na dati diba wala. We have it now because kada alis, kada uwi, we need to report it sa system, and pag yun namin na-report, magkaka-problem kami. That's why from time to time, we will be asking kung kamusta na kayo doon because every year we really need to report you talaga. It's called OMS. You can search it.
We also have unions, so you can ask them for just as advice, or they can direct you to some institution or so. In any case, you will get help. Yeah, I know. But it's possible. I mean, everywhere. Yeah.
For the salary, wala talaga. So, for sa isang libo mahigit, wala naman. If may narinig kayo parang sa company namin, wala talaga. Wala namang nare-reklamo sa salary from the employer. Kasi strict talaga sila. So, yeah, mas better talaga sa Europe.
We have some complaints about Emlinar because like they don't like what they are doing there because they are allowed to work 8 hours, right? But like Emlinar, they are just working 5 hours full pay. They are complaining, sir, hindi kami pagod. Gusto kami mapagod.
Bakery kasi siya, diba? Parang Goldilocks. Gusto niya yung gano'n.
Nag-complain na hindi pagod.
Yung assistance ninyo, kunwari na disgrasya kayo sa workplace mismo, hindi yung pumunta kayo na you went to Italy and then you have an accident there. So in a workplace, so all of like repatriation expense will be shouldered by your employer. We still have. We have also. Kagaya niyan, yung mga OFW, hindi yung buntis na pregnant na you get pregnant there because that's why we do our pregnancy test before your final briefing and after your before your departure because you should not be pregnant while in Croatia because if you get pregnant No repatriation expense. All your tickets you should pay. All the damages that your employer has spent to you, babayaran niyo yun. Kagaya ngayon, may nabuntis sa Hungary. Kaya mainit ang ulo mo. Kaya humihingi ng pamasahe. Kaso hindi namin pwede bigyan yun. Kasi gusto niya yun. One night stand pa. Nilamig. Binlock na daw siya nung ano niya. Tapos Pilipino pa. O, wala, mahina. Kaya, huwag kayong maging
lang ako sa live
dito. Huwag na sa Pilipino kasi andun na kayo sa Croatia dapat guys. Ha?
Bili na tayo ng ano, ng padlock. Padlockan na yan.
Pagka nalaman namin, kunwari, na-aksidente ka you have an accident in the company. So, we will not know that. So, you tell us, you tell Pinoy Create 5, Pinoy Create 5 will tell us, and then we will tell Pinoy Create 5 what to do if kailangan ba talaga ng medical repatriation or doon lang sa Croatia magpagaling lang. Kasi if you are like hindi talaga like bedridden na pagkaka-accident, they have labor laws na will protect Filipino workers na mababayaran pa rin yung dapat niyong makuha ang sahod. And then, yun yung maganda lang sa Croatia because all the like hospital bills will be spent out of your pocket. Hindi pala galing sa pocket ninyo. Out of their own pocket sa employers. Okay, meron din yun sa job offer. Tsaka andyan din yun sa kontrata ninyo na pagka sa disgrasya sa workplace. Okay? Clear?
Try nyo mabuntis, wala na. Yeah, buntis in English is pregnant. It's called buntis.
Pregnant, not good.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, just eat your brunch in peace. You can have a short break. You can go out. And you can ask questions, of course.
Yeah, I know your name, so I can Google you.